Hey everybody, it's Rolly, and I am coming to you with another one of our exhibitors who is going to be participating with us during the conference. And so this is Diane Howe. And so Diane brings to us a lot of experience, but one of the things that she brings to us in person is her massages. And so for those of us who have attended the conference in previous years, Diane has been always there offering her massages and that angelic touch that she has. And so this year, with it being virtual, she has decided to offer distance Reiki sessions, which is one of the things she offers Reiki sessions with her clients in conjunction with her massages. And so, and reflexology. And so she's actually going to be offering distance Reiki. So this is pretty exciting. So welcome, Diane.
Welcome. Thank you, Rolly, for having me. This is going to be something that's going to be unique for me. Not really unique. I do share it with other people. One friend, we do it on a regular basis. We exchange alternate weeks, which is amazing. And I've just found it so, I don't know, satisfying and it's an accomplishment that I didn't ever think that I'd be doing. And as far as distant Reiki, I've experienced hands-on, but the distant Reiki, it's so amazing. A client I did on Sunday, when I went to reach for her foot, I could feel her heartbeat before I actually touched. I use a teddy bear as an example for my hands-on and distance, and so that was really cool. And she actually said to me, "Which side did you start with?" She says, "I could feel this tingling on my right side." And I said, "I always start on the right side." So even distantly, you get a total different sensation. But she was totally relaxed and had a great night's sleep, which this young lady suffers in pain all the time.
So, and that is so true. Like there's so much in terms of energy that a lot of us don't understand or don't know. And it's just really interesting to be able to see how all of that comes together. So I am super thankful that you attend the conference. So even if you were not a practitioner or that you were attending in that capacity, you would be attending this conference anyway, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes. I've been doing this since you began. And then even with your chakra dances, I participated in that and your retreats for that. And I've been totally blessed through it all. And I have actually got to meet my mom and my sister and my daughter that came present in one of your chakra retreats that actually presented themselves. And that was a change in my life. And they've been constant since then.
So,
I've been really blessed.
and that's really interesting, right? So again, it's all about that energy and being able to connect with different things. So somebody who's like, okay, but I don't believe in angels, or I don't believe in energy, or I don't believe, and so I guess maybe this this conference isn't really for me. And that's not really true, because we have some people who are going to share some yogic practices. They're going to have some people who are going to share about their own personal experiences of dealing with self-love, and how they've actually journeyed through taking things from one step to the next step. And one of the things that I think is always really interesting is how we always have a theme. So each conference, so this theme this year is self-love, I am enough, you are enough. So all of the speakers and all of the exhibitors all have that same connection in terms of that particular theme. But what I always find is really interesting is how, as the speakers share, is that, yes, it's always focused on that theme, but there always seems to be an underlying message of something else that is actually going on. And so it's really neat to be able to see and share in those experiences. And so I was sharing a couple of videos before, is that the theme a couple years ago was, and I don't remember what the actual theme was, but like in terms of like the underlying theme that everybody came back with was all about water, right? So there was a lot of conversations the year that Maggie and Angela and Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
They were all there, and Jolene. And so they were sharing about the water, and they were sharing whatever it is, and it always connected back to the water. And I thought that that was super cool, how all of that came to play. So what has been your experience, Diane, with the conference itself?
For myself personally, I have found it is such a neat experience. These people that are from all over the place. It's not going to be as extensive as this year because we've got it all around the world, but all around Ontario, and some, I think, were from out of Ontario that year when Maggie came. But anyway, just meeting the people and connecting with them, and finding that you have such a personal connection with them that are so unique that we can relate to each other when we share things, and then they become long-lasting friends. And it's and it's also for us women that I don't think there's too many there that haven't experienced difficulties in their life, or different downs in their life, that these women all speak to different things that they seem to all relate to us. And if not, there is something that will speak to one individual, and it helps everybody. And you come out with a different aura about yourself when you leave the meeting, because it has really spoken to your inner self. And it's really even hard to explain how amazing these seminars and conferences are that we have together as women. And we need to connect more to each other and with each other, and especially during this pandemic time. It's been hard for a lot of women, being closed in or away from friends or not able to do things. And it becomes dangerous time for some of these women.
And I
And
think
we need to reach out to them.
And I think that that's one of the things that for you, Diane, that you've actually had that experience, right? So you've been on lockdown since December 26th, right? So other than having to go out for medical appointments, you've been confined to home during this entire time, which makes it more challenging, I think, for everybody. So you can actually speak to that specifically. So anybody who's watching that have been stuck at home, unable to leave because of different reasons, that's one of the reasons why doing this globally and having it virtual as opposed to just canceling it and just restarting again next year when we can do it in person, it was just really important for me to still do. So when I finally made the decision back in December, it was like, we're not reopening or at least not enough in March. We may still be open because our doors are starting to open again in our region. Different regions are still closed in our own province. And so it's about being able to have those connections. And so when I made the decision in December, it was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if we can pull all this off and get all these speakers. But yet 38 women signed up to apply to be speakers. And so out of those 38, we have 25 who are actually coming forward. And Diane was on the committee to actually help choose our speakers. For those of you who are speakers, this is one of our committee members.
And so, it was difficult.
It was difficult, wasn't it? And that's why I'm like, I can't choose. Like I wasn't expecting to have 38 women come forward. And so I've had to turn down one or two people in the past. But never have I had to turn down so many. And so being able to, because we can only have 17 live spots. And so what we did was we also told but then we also gave the opportunity for those 38 women to be able to still offer something, to be able to offer their own presentation in a recording. So we got a bonus on that as well, right? So normally it would only be the number of speakers that we can actually have. So going to virtual allows us to be able to have that opportunity to be able to have more wisdom shared with us. And I use the word wisdom because the women who are sharing their own personal experiences, sharing their own divine wisdom, their own personal perception as to what it is that is going on. And a lot of times we find that connection with other people. And the part that I think is really neat is that not only do I connect with the speakers and the exhibitors throughout the conference, and then of course we have our back end people that help us with a lot of the other things. This year it's going to be virtual, so they're going to be helping, doing some moderating and helping to make sure that people can navigate wherever it is that they need to. But but we always have these connections, and so I form a connection with all of them because I have those interactions leading into the conference, and then again, of course, after the conference. And so one of the things that Diane was saying is that we then form friendships. And so Maggie, who is one of our speakers, she's somebody who I have developed a friendship with. So 2 years ago now, so I guess it'll be 3 years. Yeah, so it'll be 3 years. Now is that Maggie was a presenter for our second conference, and we've become very good friends, and I very much honor Maggie, and to have her coming and speaking again for this virtual event, I think is incredible. And I know that you formed a really good, strong bond with Maggie as well.
Yes, I was fortunate enough to even be able to share my home with them when they came with her and her friend. And it was an amazing experience having that time personally with her in my own home. And yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
She's a loving soul, and I love a lot. There are many speakers that I have got to know that I didn't know, that I'm really looking forward to being able to have those long-lasting relationships with, and our exhibitors. So being able to have all of our exhibitors are exhibitors that we know, except for one, that I know, I should say, except for one. And so I'm looking forward to being able to get to know the exhibitors at a different level than what it is that I've known them as. But it's that interaction with other people, which we still get to do with this conference. So that part there is pretty exciting, because we're going to get to move into breakout groups. So it'll be just like having our own private Zoom session that we would be having, where we'd be actually sitting together at one of the tables during one of the breaks or during the lunches. So it allows us to be able to still have those connections with everyone. And the fact that we actually get to meet people from around the world. So Australia is one of those places that someday I will go to. And I know that Diane has been there. Yeah. And so those are definitely one of the things that I'm really looking forward to, is being able to connect with people that are in different parts of the world. And so this is really cool. We've got Australia, we've got UK, we have people from across the US as well as across Canada. So it's really neat that we can actually travel without having to leave our homes or our places of work, whatever it is that looks like for us. So I think that's actually kind of cool.
I'm really looking forward to meeting the lady from Australia and England. Australia people, I found when I was there, were such warm and welcoming people. They will freely open their doors to whoever, it just seemed. And I really enjoyed my 2 weeks that I was there. I was there for a training session on my second level Reiki or reflexology in a conference as well. And it was had some other experiences that weren't so nice.
Yeah, she had an accident while she was there. Not so good. She said something about my tour guide when I go to Australia, and I said, like, yeah, that's okay. I'll pass. I'll find someone else. You're not touring us. So that was our joke.
I didn't right touring. It was just a sudden stop that was hard. And my ancestry comes from England and Wales, so that's kind of interesting too.
Yeah, that really is. And so I am looking forward to being able to connect with all the different women. And one of the things that we've shared, that I shared yesterday, and that it's been shared a few times in different formats, is the fact that during this weekend until Monday at 2:22 p.m. Eastern time, is that there's a huge savings that is actually going on with the conference. And so one of the questions that we were asked is like, well, why now? Like, you already had the early bird, so why now? Because the early bird was still more expensive than this particular savings is. And the reason for that is that we actually had we had the opportunity to be able to have some funds acquired that typically normally would go to having one or two guests be able to attend for free, and that is part of the package. However, in this particular case, what we ended up doing was taking that sum of money and dividing it across to be able to reduce the price temporarily for women who wouldn't be necessarily in a position to pay the full amount. So what we wanted to do was be able to spread the wealth, right? So spread that love a little further than it would be to just only having a certain number of women attending. So this allows more women to be able to have access to this. And so we're hoping that that will actually help with some of the women who've been kind of like on the fence in terms of cost, to be able to bring that out, bring that down into to be able to register and participate in this conference. So I think that it was a great way of being able to spread that love. So
exactly.
Sorry, Diane, I cut you off.
I said no. I said that was exactly, and there. Anybody that isn't able to come or should be, or not should be, but might be able to accept this lowered cost, but it's going to make a big difference in someone's lives too, because anybody that comes to these conferences are touched.
And it really,
the women talking later after the day, it's amazing.
And it really is life-changing. So, so one of our guests a couple years ago actually described the weekend as transformational. And since that time, we've heard, and that's a word that has come back up several times from different people, is that's that word that keeps coming back about this particular weekend, is that it's transformational. And it's funny how different people transform, and what it is that they see, what they experience, and what it is that they actually have that transformation through. So like, that's the part that's actually really interesting, is that, and sometimes it's about something that one of the other guests have shared. And so, and that has been that moment where that clarity comes in, and they actually have that brightness. So that is, so inside the description of this video is the link. So if you click on that link, it will actually take you to the registration page, and automatically the discount is added to it. So it doesn't matter, so you don't need to worry about a code, because it's already done automatically, and then it automatically turns itself off. That's one of the technology things that are actually kind of cool, is that it turns it on, turns it off. We just need to set the timer, and so it'll actually turn off on Monday at 2:22 p.m. It will be shutting off itself. And so so you definitely want to be able to try and get in before that time. And if you're having any difficulty with registering, then please let me know. As Diane can attest to, I can definitely help you with being able to get those parts done. Diane is gets challenged. She definitely gets challenged when it comes to the technology part, but she is a go-getter, and she continues to do all the things that she needs to do so that she can get better at doing the things. And so she's now become a Zoom pro, not with just my programs, but with other people's programs as well. So she can get on Zoom pretty easily, and she gives other people tips. So I was impressed by that the other night. So, but yeah, so these are definitely some of the things that we are looking forward to being able to do during this time. So have a fabulous weekend. And for those of you who are celebrating Family Day weekend, enjoy your Family Day weekend alone in isolation through video, but it's still Family Day, and being able to take that time. In fact, my goal for today is to be able to have a nap. So that's my goal for today. So I'm planning on having a nap. So I will chat with everybody later. And is there anything else that you wanted to add, Diane, before we go?
No, I'd just be looking forward to seeing people. And if they have any questions or wondering what Distant Reiki is all about, they can get in touch with me at my email address at ewings.dh@gmail.com.
Okay. So
and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, so have a fabulous day, everyone, and we will chat soon and talk to you later. Bye for now.
Bye.